What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jack Ramsays pregame show. Danny Marang, Brandon Sprague, Blazers getting ready to take on the Los Angeles Lakers, the end of a 4-game trip where, Brandon, if they lose this game, they will go 1-3 in the trip, which sounds not great, obviously. However, that will also drop them to 21-31 in the season, 10 games below 500 with 4 games to go before the All-Star break. Big news and notes, no LeBron James, no Damian Lillard. There is no stars in LA tonight. But wait, Anthony Davis might go. We haven't had confirmation on it yet. And a young Anfernee Simons.
Did you just say no stars in LA?
I'm just saying, you like that?
Is Christian playing tonight?
Who?
Christian?
Who?
Christian
What?
James.
Oh, no. Stars. Capital S.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, capital S.
Almost all-star stars? Or?
No. Capital S. Welcome in, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you. This is the Jack Ramsays part of the pregame show, part of the Blue Wire Network. Please like, rate, review, subscribe. If you're watching here on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Help us grow the channel. We are almost at 2,500. YouTube got all jacked up the other day, and all of the counting stuff for subscribers got all messed up. However, we are back on track and tracking towards 2,500 very, very quickly. And the goal, I'm going to set a high goal, ladies and gentlemen, 4,000 by the end of the season.
Let's go.
4,000 by the end of the year. That's the goal. So I fully expect that we'll pick up a lot of traffic here in the next couple days. And don't worry, for everybody looking for the rumors, we will talk trade. We will talk trade here in the pregame. Don't worry. Evan McCarthy says, Danny, Brandon, please tell me Nurk has blocked you both on Twitter too. I hate to break it to everybody. I am not blocked by a single player. So.
I'm trying to think if I'm blocked. I think the only person that's blocked
unfollowed.
Me. What? Oh, yeah, I got
unfollowed.
unfollowed. Yeah, CJ unfollowed me. I think he got tired of all the hypothetical trades or the we need to break this backcourt up tweets. I don't blame him for that. The only person that's blocked me, I think, in sports is Kirk Herbstreit.
Mine's Peter Vesey.
What'd you do to Peter Vesey?
Nothing. I have confirmation on this. I sent Chad Doing went out to dinner with Vesey. So did Ringering, and I was like, "Hey, ask him why he has me blocked." Because I did a swort. I saw a tweet come up and somebody was quote tweeting it and I couldn't see it. I'm like, the hell? I click on it. It's Peter Vesey. You're blocked from that. I'm like, what the hell? And I go, hey, Vesey was in town. He was in the studio. I was going to ask him and I was like, I'm not going to be a dick about it, you know? And I was like, hey, you guys are going to dinner. Ask him tonight. They did. They made a big joke out of it. And he goes, listen, I have like 30,000 people blocked. I probably accidentally clicked on his name.
He just blocks people like that?
Like, it just, boom. Like, if you're just in the wrong spot at the wrong time saying something sideways, just bloop. Yeah. And he's like,
wow.
He goes, tell him not to take it personal.
I mean, I at least earned my blocking. Like, that sucks to get blocked for no reason.
A lot of people are saying they got blocked by Myers. Listen, folks.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Myers blocked a lot of you, and to be honest, I've seen the reasons he's blocked you. More often than not, he had a good reason for it.
Some of you guys deserved it. Let's just be honest. It's the trust tree. I wasn't a huge Myers guy. But some of you deserved it.
I did get 3 of you unblocked. So I saw the tweets that were sent, and you said you did. I won't name any names, but you did mea culpas, and Myers unblocked you. So I know that did happen for at least 3 of you because Myers is a good dude.
But no, Nurkic does not follow me, nor has he blocked me.
I think he's one of the only active guys that hasn't retweeted something I've said about him.
But he's one of the seeks his name out on Twitter guys.
He searches his name 100%.
And so, like, when he goes and blocks people, it's because he's bored and he searches his name and he doesn't like what you say about Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, and I've done like a lot of those, like the ones that I did for Anfernee the other day. Like, hey, Anfernee, if he does this, he'll have this month. I used to do a lot of those tweets over the years. It's kind of how I got my foothold. Was like just like, hey, if this happens and this happens and this happens. CJ's done it. Dame's done it. They've all quote tweeted and retweeted me over the years, except for Nurk. Nurk is the only one who's never retweeted me. Whatever.
Hey, you know what? Your life is okay. Yusuf Nurkic has not interacted with you on Twitter. Your life is okay.
Yeah, that'll happen. Speaking of okay, the Portland Trailblazers with a win would be okay on this road trip, 2-2. However, they would just be 8 games under 500 with 4 games remaining. And let's take a look at tonight's game, Senor Sprague. Oh, I got to turn the tank on. There we go. What to watch for against the Portland Trailblazers take on the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. Primetime, 7:30 Wednesday game. Go to hell, NBA schedulers. What are you doing? Late Wednesday night game?
Look, I had this conversation on the radio show. I want to bring it onto the pod here. Thoughts on this? It's really tough to gauge, I think especially in our profession. It's tough to gauge what the drive to and from work audience is versus what it was pre-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, you got to admit, there's probably a drop off of some extent.
I would say there's probably a third of people that are driving to work less.
Right. I would agree with that. Maybe even a little more. It wouldn't shock me. What are we doing? Still having West Coast tip times at 7?
It's 7:30.
Well, it's 7 or 7:30. Why are we not playing these games at 6?
I have no idea.
Like, what are we? Is this 1998? I know they're not going to change it. It's not even probably a thing for them, but I'm like,
think about it. You could actually get the East Coast audiences. They wouldn't have a game over at midnight.
Yep. Yeah, because who's watching? I mean, seriously, unless you're some sick degenerate or you're a diehard Laker fan living on the East Coast,
Jersey, which
who works at 10 a.m. the next day and is just like, I'll catch every Laker game ever. You're not watching this game tonight.
Lakers. We all know that guy's actually from New Jersey.
Right. But like, my point is like, nobody's watching these games. Remember we had Bunker on from Atlanta and he was like,
yeah, no,
I don't watch those games.
No. And he's in Atlanta. He's not even all the way over. Like,
yeah,
no. Let's see if there's an update. We're getting close. We probably don't have it yet. Oh, I do have a Slack update. No, not an injury update. For the Trailblazers, though, this came out earlier today. CJ Ellaby is probable, so they do get a body back, which is nice to see. Nurk did pick up a knock. Ant picked up a knock. Ellaby is obviously recovering. Watford obviously picked up a knock. I tweeted this out yesterday. 4 of their top 8 are out in Dame, Nas, Nance, Zeller, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 4. The other 4 in Ant, Norm, CJ, Nurk. I'm sorry, top 9. So I forgot Coven there. My bad. I'm doing my math wrong.
No, that's okay. But your math doing wrong is bad for a guy who is bad at math. So now I'm like, what?
Basically, what I'm saying is every single one of these guys, sans Nurk, has been on, and Ant has been on the injury report in the past month.
Yeah.
So there's either guys that are hurt or guys that are coming freshly off knocks.
Okay, so I'm so this season's been long, so forgive me. Hasn't Ant been included? But it's been probable,
probably about 6 weeks since he's been. I think since he's been on it. But yeah, he's had the tape on his wrist since November.
Yeah.
So he's had that for a while. He got bumped midair last night or night before last in OKC. Nurk, the right ankle sprain, didn't see that.
I didn't see that have been?
OKC, unless they held it from a night before in Chicago, which I mean. Going out on a limb, wouldn't be the first time this organization did that.
No, it wouldn't. Or they got their ass kicked and he played like doo-doo, and it's
in back-to-back games.
It's one way to say,
hey, he's not ready to go. One guy who looks like he is going to give it a go, Anthony Davis. Fully healthy, the Blazers don't have anybody to deal with him.
He's not a problem.
You don't think so?
I don't know if I've shifted positions on a player faster than him. Of a player that caliber.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, when he's healthy and fully going, he's one of the most dominant players in the league. Problem is he hasn't been either of those for a year and a half.
Well, yeah, and look, the bubble at this point, it's fair to say, was a blip.
Oh, yeah, no, he can't shoot.
He can't shoot. I don't know what it was about the bubble, but the bubble he couldn't miss.
I mean, that part of it, though, for anybody who doesn't know, everybody shot better in the bubble. It's a full. It went from a theory to a full-on proof. The lack of fans, the consistent backdrop, the same gyms, the same rims, all that stuff, it all fed into it. Everybody
I guess there's no travel or anything like that.
Everybody shot lights out, and some guys saw massive spikes in their shooting, AD being one of them.
Well, I mean, look, AD is an incredible player. I'm not belittling the talent.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the history of New Orleans mixed with what you're seeing. I mean, the dude came back and he instantly had to leave with a wrist injury. Like, everybody talks about Russ, and I get it. Russ is a bad contract.
He's a disaster.
they should be talking, and they're not going to, but they should be talking about what they get for Anthony Davis. Like, if you want to capitalize on LeBron era, and you're like, AD's 28, but damn, is he an old 28?
There's at least 2 teams that would talk themselves into Anthony Davis.
Absolutely.
With unequivocally.
Please name them.
Minnesota.
So you're trading Cat for AD?
No, you're pairing those 2 together.
Oh.
Anthony Edwards.
You think they'd get rid of Anthony Edwards? Dear Lord, don't let that happen, because Anthony Edwards and LeBron James would be terrifying.
It would be it'd be him or D'Lo. I think they try to keep D'Lo as a point guard.
You think that they would take D'Lo back in LA? Because I don't think they would do that. That was a bad ending.
that entire team is gone now.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's
maybe
true. Nick Young.
But I think they. I mean, don't get me wrong. Anthony Edwards is going to be an absolute stud. But if you were like, how do I get Cat to play the 5, but give him real defensive support?
You play a guy who should be playing the 5, but hates playing the 5, which is the weirdest thing ever. But
now they're both 4s. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's positionless, right? Isn't that what Jalen Rose says? Who gives a shit what your position is? Just play.
It's just it's nuts.
He's good, but like, I'm legitimately sitting here, and one, I'm all in on them winning tonight. Mainly because it's like, screw the Lakers. 2, I just don't think he impacts. I don't think he impacts winning and losing to the level of a lot of other stars that get talked about with him. You know what I mean?
I think he impacts the game very much like Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes.
Which I've hot-takingly called him 7-foot CJ McCollum. So, Knicks is the other team. Chris Brandlin said at 80 the Knicks for a Randall Barrett package might work. The Knicks is the other team I was going to put in there.
Oh, if you're the Lakers, you got to say no to that, right? Randall and Barrett? You want Randall Barrett? Is that going to make them better?
Yes.
And they play. I guess that's a good point. They're on the court.
Yeah. And then you do whatever you can to get rid of Russ. Like, that's...
A team's going to take him. A team is going to take that contract. I promise you.
I don't want to spend all this time talking about this, but it may go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history. Quite legitimately.
Oh, I already think it's there, is it not?
It's up there. Like, Russ can redeem this if he does enough smoke and mirrors like he did with the Wizards last year, post All-Star break. It was like, oh, no, he figured it out post All-Star break. No, he didn't. They just gave him the ball. They didn't care. That's what happened. The same thing happened with the Rockets. It's just, I don't know. But you take a look at this game tonight. Also, for the Lakers, Malik Monk is probable. He has groin soreness, which I don't know if he should be playing with that before the All-Star break.
I got groin soreness, and I can tell you I wouldn't want to play basketball right now.
No, God, no. Malik Monk is the perfect guy of, like, not necessarily that he just got out of Charlotte. He got out of Charlotte, and he stayed off the weed.
I can't confirm or deny that statement.
He
lives in Cali. Why would you get off weed right when you move to Cali?
Because it's dirt weed down there. Come on, keep up.
I'll say Charlotte's got some dirt weed, right?
I'm just saying in general. I don't know if he did or not. I'm just saying, he figured it out.
Well, he was a good player though. Like, I think people, I know it didn't end again with him at the best of relationships with him and the team, but like, and I was a little surprised he went for what he went for. I thought somebody would give him not a bag, but
he didn't get the money because of his first 4 years in the league.
Well, okay,
and not caring.
Well, but there was still, he had a lot
Talent.
of nights where the glimpses would be there and you'd be like, oh shit, Malik Monk has got it.
Yep.
And I think it's a lot of what you're saying. He's got a new opportunity. His agent's probably like, hey, dude.
Reality switched on for him. Like, dog, if you screw this up, you're Nick Younging this. Like, you're doing reality shows in 6 months. Like, don't figure it out, man. But you take a look at this Lakers team. They are a hodgepodge of stupidity.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they don't make any sense. And I want to crush Pelinka because it falls on him because everybody says, oh, LeBron built the team, which is true, but guess who signs off on it? It's Pelinka. And you've got to be like, no, Russ isn't the guy. I know he's your guy. I know he's the one who's the non-banana boat. But we can't get Chris Paul. You can't just put another guy in here who just doesn't make any sense. Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes.
I can't believe he said no to that. I mean,
go find a bleeping point guard anywhere else.
You don't even need to find a point guard. You are the point guard.
You need somebody to take the burden off Braun in the regular season. 82 games or 65 games now at this point of LeBron James and maybe sliding up to the 5. You've got to save some wear and tear on him. You've got to figure out how to, at 37, take some mileage off of him.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but isn't he playing as many minutes? He's averaging the most points.
And he's sliding up to the 5 now because they just horribly structured their roster.
Yeah, because they signed 2 bigs who are done, and they got another big that can't stay healthy. I think that is easily one of the biggest mistakes we've had, right? Like LeBron has built some really good teams. He's built teams that people crapped on, and then he won a championship with them.
But he has his guys.
That was a move that like a lot of us on the summer were like, ee. And the only thing that left me like, I'm not ready to dump on it was the fact that it was LeBron. That I was like, well, if anybody, I guess, is going to get rest to play a different style, it's going to be this guy.
I think we all bought into it with the, I guess it's LeBron.
Right.
Like, that's how everybody kind of viewed it. Like even the biggest backers of it looked at it, just went, Braun made it work in Cleveland with lesser, so maybe the high-end talent, even if it's an ugly fit, you work it out, and it just hasn't worked out.
This team with Barnes and Hield, I think you're talking about an 8 to 9 win difference between what that team would be and what this team is. The crazy thing is Braun's stats are still amazing. Yeah. I think he deserves all the talking that he gets around the league. But like
he's still a top 5, top 7 player in the league.
Yes, but like I also don't feel like he carries a team the way that he did. Those stats are good, but they're not.
He's not
what
Giannis.
We saw. No, it was not Giannis.
Did you watch Giannis last night?
Yes,
just
unbelievable.
Fourth quarter, he said, "We're winning.
We're not losing this game.
I'm scoring 14 points. I'm grabbing 5 rebounds, and I'm going to block every shot, and I'm going to dunk everything." The Wizards looked at him and like, "We know what you want to do.
Yep,
but we can't stop you." LeBron James gets that for spurts now. And that's normal for like a 33-year-old. He's 37. Like it's going to keep wearing down. It's going.
Oh, for sure.
Like it's for just sure. The fact that he's still doing what he's doing he's literally 3 months younger than I am. And I can't fathom that. I don't care how much I don't care if he spends $1 million a year on his body. I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like I could spend that much money and I wouldn't feel that much better. It's hard to wrap my head around what he has done. I am not in any way, shape, matter, or form disparaging what he is doing right now. But you're right. It's not as impactful as it once was.
Yeah. Still good. Still really freaking good. But
he's not a top 3. He's probably not top 5.
No, I wouldn't say that.
If you're saying he's 5th, I'm not going to argue with you like a lot, but I put him like 6, 7.
Yeah, he's not, because I think if you're talking about LeBron even 3 years ago, that LeBron is probably making this team 4 games better just by being LeBron.
Probably the best player in the league. Yeah.
And here's what's crazy. That drop that we're talking about, without this LeBron at 37, they are probably 7 to 8 games better than what they should be. That's what's insane about this roster is that bad. And yet his production elevates it to this, even though 3-4 years ago it would have been this.
Like he's edge of MVP, like legitimate MVP conversation. But
yes,
it's crazy because the 3 best players in the NBA right now are all non-American born pigs.
Isn't that nuts?
That's crazy. Everybody talks about wings. The 3 best players in the NBA right now are pigs.
Skilled bigs, man.
Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis.
Yep.
And they all play the game incredibly differently.
When I just watched the Embiid Wizards game and they ended up losing, but good God, man, like his team's record's not great, but I think he's got my MVP vote. He is unreal.
I don't think anybody cares enough about Nikola Jokic to make it matter. I just don't think he plays he's fun, but there's something about Joel that just appeals to people.
Well, I can tell you what it is, and you're not going to like it. Jokic is boring.
He does things flashy, but
he's dunking. He's dunking. He's so goddamn good.
Fundamentally sound. Like he'll throw some flash, like that game winner he threw to Aaron Gordon, a 40-foot rope from the other side of the floor. It's over the entire defense, stuff that nobody else in the league could do. But everybody looks at that play and goes, look at the shot by Gordon, and not instead of look at that unreal pass by Jokic. And I think it's kind of the weird place that you fall into.
I'm advocating for him. This is not me saying like I love Jokic, but I think some of that happens with him. It's the not much personality. He talks, but he doesn't talk. Yeah, it's just kind of like, when you play basketball. And
the Duncan thing is like, that's a really, really good comparison. I really like that. Like, because Duncan was more on the defensive side and Jokic is leaning on the offensive side, although Jokic's defense is incredibly underrated now. So, but let's flip it back to this game real quick. Out for the Blazers again. Obviously, Dame and Nas both due to surgery. Zeller and Nance. Nance is still recovering. We did get that update the other day that he's somehow recovering from some mysterious knee injury, which is just great, fine and dandy. It just makes you so angry. It shouldn't, but it is what it is. But you'd look at tonight's game, end of a road trip. The Blazers have looked like twice fried dog shit on this road trip. Let's just call it spade a spade. Yep. They have not cared in any of these games. The Houston game, they just out-talented a really bad young team. Chicago, they got housed. OKC, they embarrassed themselves. And it wasn't even shot making. It was lazy. Mm-hmm. Nobody, even guys, CJ had a good box score game, but his impact was just non-existent.
Him and Nurk were on the court when OKC flipped that and started going up 15.
Just kicked their ass.
It didn't matter that those two were on the court. The Oklahoma City Thunder. That Oklahoma City Thunder team was able to do that with those two on the court.
Which should not happen. Because in that game, the Blazers had the 5 best players.
Well, it shouldn't be happening when you're trying to win 11 in a row and you're going to rebuild with Nurk, Dame, and CJ. That's just inexcusable.
James Parker said the Blazers did the Tupac exhibit yesterday, but I only seen the rookies in the photos talk about bad vibes. I think the entire team went. I know other personnel were there. I know a particular writer was there.
To where? Well. I'm sorry.
A Tupac exhibit in L.A.
Oh, I did see that. Ben Oliver posted some stuff on his IG.
Did he post it on IG? Okay.
He put it on his IG.
That's why I said particular writer. I didn't know if he was.
Is he doing a story on it? Dope.
So he'll be in town tomorrow.
I just went to that Van Gogh exhibit on my birthday in December. Mm-hmm. Loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was really cool to learn that stuff about him. That Tupac thing looked very similar. I want to go to more shows like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially on dope shit like that. Sign me up. David Myers says hashtag twice right dog shit needs to trend, man. It's twice fried, as in cooked, not twice right. We're gonna the hashtag going. Let's make sure we get it going right.
Oh, fried dog shit. It smells awful.
Again, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you for joining us. Rate, review, subscribe. Help us grow the show. If you're watching here on YouTube, click the subscribe button. Help us grow. It's free if you are listening to the podcast versions of the post-game shows. Rate, review, subscribe. If you leave us a review, please, thank you. A lot of you have done that recently. Our reviews damn near doubled over the last couple of weeks. Thank you. Thank you. That grows the algorithm. That helps us share. That's one of the best things you can do for us is leaving us a review. Other than directly sharing it with your friends and family and posting it everywhere and putting it in the group chat and mocking us and taking sound bites. Those are all great too. But reviews help a ton. I'm gonna bag the game here for a second. Okay. And news and rumors. February 10th deadline trading Covington, Nurkic, and McCollum. For all accounts and purposes, Robert Covington is traded. He's there isn't a scenario where Robert Covington is on this team February 11th.
So is he done playing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think that's the case, but
it's a risky move.
It certainly is. As we just saw Joe Ingles' leg go Gumby.
Yeah, not one I would want to be gambling on if I was the team taking on Robert Covington, and certainly not one if I'm Portland looking to move Robert Covington. I would be sitting him until he's traded if that's the deal.
Sorry, I had a notification there. It was just another Slack notification, but I thought it was a Blazers notification. I was like, well, that doesn't sound right. It shouldn't be that time. Eric Burns says, I have a bad feeling nobody's getting traded. Robert Covington is getting traded.
Anybody else? Because I'm starting to worry about that too.
On the CJ McCollum front, we've also heard more news and more notes come out on him. Everybody in New Orleans is basically on board at this point. One of my contacts said that there's a framework that is in place, which is a lot like what I've discussed. But I think what would be the prohibitive thing in that is either the number of picks or the protections on those picks. Because I think they own 11 picks in total.
Jeez,
11
that's right. They got 3 from the Bucks. I mean, just by that.
And then they have their own behind that. So it is a lot. It is a lot. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Kindly, he says, I have a crap feeling that they will try and run it back again. They will not go into next season with Dame, CJ, and Nurk on this roster.
Well,
they could, but
Dame, Nurk, yes,
possibly.
I'm at that point, Danny. I'm losing faith that that's going to happen.
So Mark Stein reported on. I've talked about it a little bit. Nurk hasn't been actively shopped. CJ McCollum has been actively shopped. Norman Powell has been actively shopped. Robert Covington has been actively shopped. And when I say actively shopped, they are making phone calls. I have not heard anything on Nurk in over 2 weeks. So. And
feels like a mistake. Feels like a big mistake.
And here's the thing. I've heard a lot of people say, well, they couldn't get somebody better than Jusuf Nurkic. Here's my pushback on that. You don't need to get somebody better than Jusuf Nurkic if everybody else at their positions is better. You need Jusuf Nurkic to be able to do all of these things because you have so many shortcomings up and down your roster. I am all for getting the best players available.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and making it fit. But when your best player, Damian Lillard, has shortcomings, it is you need to find the best players available to maximize what he does and build around him. Jusuf Nurkic does not do that. A Clint Capella, a Jarrett Allen, a Miles Turner.
Your dream, Mo Bamba.
Well, listen, I don't even know if he maximizes, but we get closer to the idea of getting longer, more athletic. And then you go, well, we have a coach that we're committed to for 4 years because we gave him a 5-year deal. And he wants to play aggressive. You know what they have done over the last month that has made Jusuf Nurkic look so much better defensively? The same shit Terry Stotts did that everybody got mad at him for. Drop coverage, ice coverage, zone coverage. Free throw line and below. Now, is he blitzing and trapping every now and then? Sure. Which I think Terry Stotts should have done. That was one of the things that my frustrations was that he was so rigid in that regard. But what he got out of Jusuf Nurkic all those years, Brandon, was they kept a very large man very close to the rim.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what he's good at.
We also didn't exert much energy for him either, right? Like he's good at it and he doesn't really have to move much. So you can get some more minutes. You can get some more production on the offensive side of the court. Wasn't a perfect defense, but I thought the way that they played it, pretty smart.
Regular season, it's a good, solid, high level, not a high level of return defense.
Sure.
Few errors, consistent, all those things. Bryce asks, what if they don't trade Nurk and then he walks in free agency? And that's my other pushback here. This whole idea of, well, they can just bring him back. Nurk could absolutely unabashedly love Damian Lillard. And I believe that he does. I believe that he looks at him like family. I believe every last bit of that. And you know what Damian Lillard's going to tell him to do in free agency?
Get that money.
Get that money and do what's best for you. And some team comes out there and says, we're going to give you a 4-year deal.
Oh.
Do you want to give Jusuf Nurkic a 4-year deal?
Ay, Dios mío. No. I don't even want him to come. I don't
28-year-old Jusuf Nurkic who hasn't been healthy forever is going to get a 4-year deal?
Oh. I don't even want a 3 and a 1. Like I sound like a broken record, I think, at this point. And it's a combination of things. It's like Nurk seems like a good dude. Try a different city, different team. Maybe your production will go up, but it seems misguided to not capitalize on an expiring because of what you just said. Like nothing is a given that you're going to sign this dude back, even if
all of the I's are dotted and T's are crossed that you're going to come back.
But you just pointed out also, like, are we really going to forget what they did 3 years ago? What did they do 3 years ago, Danny? Western Conference Finals. Oh, who was the starting center of that playoff run? That's right. It was his backup. Folks, when you get the right matchups and you got the right players in the right places, you can get by in some spots, right? Like Cantor had his deficiencies. There's no refuting that. But like you had the right matchups in the postseason mixed with guys who stepped up in big moments. Rodney Hood, 4 overtime games. CJ McCollum, game 7 on the road. Like you had guys that were stepping up and making those plays, and it helped you get that far. It's not to say you can't ever go to the Western Conference Finals or a conference finals when they're, it's more to just put it into like perspective. It's okay to move on. It doesn't mean you're going to Jermaine O'Neal something with a 28-year-old banged up, injury prone center here. We're not talking about a 19, 20-year-old European project. We're talking about a 28-year-old
7 foot, 300 pounder,
7 foot, 300 pound, sometimes malcontent player. And I'm seeing people on Twitter telling me they need to re-sign him. Yeah. I'm just like, no, we don't have to re-sign him. You can move on from this.
And that's the other part of this, right? I hadn't even gotten to the whole idea of the version of Jusuf Nurkic. He's in a contract year and he's getting all the touches and all the shots he's ever wanted. Now, I'm doing this not to be a dick. I grabbed this earlier. I grabbed his shot chart from January. Because remember I talked about his efficiency? So I'm going to put this up for everybody who's watching right now. And let me hide the everything else. Just do this. Bloop. So for everybody who's looking at this right now, Brandon, obviously you can't see it, but the entire chart is red except for yellow around the rim and 3 green spots where he took a collective 10 total shots. But he has 164 shots at the rim where he converted 90 of them. That's under 55%. League average is 59.3%. That production is not irreplaceable. Just because they cranked up the volume because they just screw it, we don't have a better option. Does he have good post footwork at times? Yes. Sometimes it's exquisite. Sometimes his post game makes you go, oh my God, that's incredible. And sometimes it makes you want to throw a chair through the window. Mm-hmm. And that's the frustration of Jusuf Nurkic. And I don't know how you can sit there and say, well they can't get better. Really? They can't get better? They can't find anything out there better? And here's the other part of this. Well, bring him back and re-sign him, then try and figure it out. Jesus Christ. You're going to string this out into another trade deadline?
I was going to say, didn't they just try to do... Isn't that what this year was supposed to be? Right? Like, I didn't agree with it, but wasn't that what... That mentality was what basically Neil was thinking, is it not? And I just... Some things I hate harping on, but like I'm gonna harp on this. Stop with this little brother small market bullshit mentality.
We can't have nice things, so just settle.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna get better. How do you know? How do you know? You don't. So it's like, be more open-minded. You don't have to agree with us.
No.
Or me or Danny or any, you don't have to. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But like, stop with this. We're not gonna get better. How do you know that? Like, I don't know what they can get in the trade deadline, what they get in the summer. Like, there's no telling what the future holds here. It could be bad. It could be all awful. And we lose Dame in a year. We're like, damn it. Now we suck. At least we still got a hand. Or it could be they made some necessary moves that were tough. And they're guys that gave a lot to this city for a long time. But look what those moves got them. I hate living by this. There's
not been a risk taken in 10 years.
This is Neil Olshey doing this to you for a decade. And you at first like, dude, come on. Are you really going to hypnotize me? And then a decade goes by and you're like,
mm-hmm.
And now everything that gets talked about, you're like, we're not going to get better there. We can't do that. Yep. I mean, that really is what that is. Like,
this is the championship contending roster. Well, if you go back and you look in the time when we had Al-Farouq Aminu at the 4, we really profiled as the 3rd best team in the Western Conference. Blah! Are you kidding? Stop buying the bullshit. You know what your eyes have shown you for 6 years. And this isn't even just Jusuf Nurkic. This is the whole idea of... I saw a couple people in chat talking about Quick's article and Joe Cronin telling Yusuf Nurkic when he first took over, hey, look, it's okay. We're going to build around you, Dame, and CJ. I've seen some people say, well, he shouldn't say that. That's too much. When you come into the most unstable this franchise has been in 25 years, you're just trying to calm shit. I'm not excusing it. I don't think he should have said it because there's no way he can guarantee any part of that outside of Damian Lillard.
We also don't know he said it just like that.
Yeah.
Like, let's not act like this would be the first athlete to misquote something he heard, right? Like, this happens all the time. All the time.
And so, and Nurk knows the game. Nurk knows the game. He's not a fool. But do I believe that they told him that? Yes. Or some version of that, yeah, at that time. But I also know that for a fact that I've heard his name in trade discussions. It's been a little while, but he's not a sacred cow, is what I'm saying. The only sacred cow on this team is Damian Lillard. A close second is Anfernee Simons. And third, Nassir Little. After that, it falls off a cliff as far as like how much they're sitting there talking about really holding on to guys. Mm-hmm. So we'll recap real quick and then we'll get out of here. Covington, most likely gone. Almost assuredly. As close to 100% as I've ever been on somebody being traded. McCollum, I'd put it at probably 65, 68%.
Yeah, I saw a story today, not to say that that's not happening, but I saw a story today and it was just a teaser for the story. Mm-hmm. Admittedly, did not read the article, so sorry. But it was like 3 names listed. None of them were CJ. It was like Eric Gordon and 2 other players of similar level. And I was like, oh, no CJ in that story. That's interesting.
Well, if you want to pick up another rumor, Covington has now been mentioned alongside New Orleans. And I think part of that smokescreen season, because we are a week away from the trade deadline, is maybe that's New Orleans trying to extract Robert Covington in that same deal. Or maybe that's Portland trying to push Covington there as a way to get another pick.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, because if you're going to make that deal, the CJ for Hart, Hayes, Satoransky picks, again, I think the sticking point is on the picks and the number of picks and what protections that are on there. But if Covington is now going back, well, maybe that just locks in those 2 picks.
Yeah.
That's enough to make it make sense. I've also reached out to people I know who were close with people with the Jazz. They both told me flat out that the interest in Robert Covington pre-Joe Ingles injury was cursory. Just doing, hey, what's it going to cost? Ingles' injury later, I said, where are they at now? And what I was told was they've at least discussed what that deal would look like now. So that's how fluid this stuff is. And as we get every single day we get closer, you think about it. And Chris Brandon says CJ and Rocco might make Herb Jones possible. Herb Jones we really want impossible.
We are really trying to talk that Herb Jones thing.
Herb Jones and Jonas Valanciunas, not a chance.
Give him to us.
Not a chance.
Give him to us. By the way, we upgraded center, so instantly.
Where's my yeet? There we go. Gone.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Visual says trade Cody Zeller ASAP. I actually think Zeller might be traded to free up a roster spot.
Yeah. So, 0, 1 to 10. Where's your shock value if no trades happen?
A 13. If no trades happen, 13.
No trades happen
because they're over the limit. They're over the tax line. She's gonna pay the tax for this team.
I mean, Paul paid some taxes on some stupid teams. Okay.
But for this year? You're going to do it for this year?
Another one.
I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but like also it's the Blazers, like who I have no clue.
So there's your news and notes, ladies and gentlemen. We will get into the last little part of the show here. Brandon's favorite part of the show, certainly. Our jacked up line of the night. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You know what? God, I've got everything open here. There we go. Bloop. There we go. Blazers are +4.
I'm taking them.
Straight up +145. Over under 224.
Let me log in here, lay my parlay bet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I actually think Portland is going to win this stupid game. They'll beat the Lakers.
The parlay line for Simons was 16 points.
Really?
Yes, I took that one. Bryce says I'm feeling the sound effects. Yeah, I am.
It's nice to have sound effects.
It is. And I forget they're there sometimes. And then it gets a little out of hand. One of these days, Brandon's going to be able to actually hear them. I'll be able to
What?
loop the audio back through. He just has to pretend like he hears them right now until everything's synced up in the studio. So, Ricardo says, what happened to the Dame extension story? I think we'll get some news on that in the summer.
Well, there was just a little blurb on that.
Yeah, I think you'll get some news on that in the summer is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like that's a real possibility.
Yeah.
Are you taking the over or the under?
I actually took a wild parlay tonight. So
Okay.
I took that 16 on Ant, and I took the over on Anthony Davis points at 21.5. And then I took...
Wait, you took the over of Ant's points, 16.5?
And then Anthony Davis, 21.5. And then I took an alternate total for Portland at 101.5.
101.5, huh?
Altogether, I got a plus 235 odds on that.
You need a lot of things to hit on that one. This Davis, well,
I mean, over 21.5 for Anthony Davis doesn't sound all that high.
I can get it at 20 or more. Right now, if you go to the in-game
There's no
parlay.
LeBron James. Somebody's got to get shots up, my guy.
Yeah, but he's also capable of being injured within the first 4 minutes of this game and leaving.
I'm
And
just
being like,
saying.
well, Anthony Davis will not
saying.
return. He needs rest.
Joey says, hopefully one day Sprague can see the chat. So Sprague can see the chat. It's just delayed for you guys. I think it's delayed about 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's why I don't bring it up, because I would be massively
way
behind.
Yeah.
I see the chats on the live watch. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say this isn't fun either, but like the way I just have a Zoom. It's just a regular
So
Zoom screen.
for you guys, I'll give you a quick little behind the curtain here. Brandon, all he sees is regular Zoom. I have regular Zoom pulled into OBS, and that's what you guys see. So the way this is all set up, one of these days I will be able to pull that in and send this out to Brandon live at the same time too. But I need to have two different setups in order to do everything at the same time. So once I get into the studio, that'll happen. That's where we're at for the night. Please like, rate, review, subscribe. Help us grow the show. If you want to take part in the watch party, the link will be up here shortly. If you're not a member, please subscribe to the channel and join the channel, and that will get you access to all of the watch parties from here to the end of the season, as well as some exclusive content like some members-only shows, early exclusive content, and some giveaways and tickets and all the stuff that we're using. Haas says, why the F are you using Zoom? Because that's what we have to use in order to make all of this work right now. It's insane. We've got, another 40 minutes until the game, so I'll open up the room probably around 7:15 or so. Again, come hang out, chill, do all the things. I will not be here on post game Friday. I am actually going to the Bucks game. So
you know what?
Yay.
You're gonna love to see Giannis. It'll be nice to be back at a game.
I'm gonna be in a lot of pain. I'm gonna suck it up and just kind of make it happen. And I also committed to September 24th going to the USC Oregon State game.
Oh, I got yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a yes, but like I gotta wait closer to that game time to confirm some stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Just don't take too long, because then I gotta buy scalper tickets.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'll just say it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if you end up getting hooked up, I don't think you can show up in USC gear.
Ooh. Depends.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations.
I can make that happen.
I know you're gonna quietly and a couple tiger fist pumps.
Well,
Not that you really need to get that excited, because they're
Yeah.
probably going to wax Oregon State because Oregon State's not having a great year. But still,
just the number one transfer class in the country. No big deal. 2 months. 2 months he's been in charge. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there.
he has more 5 stars in the 2 months he's been there than Mario got the entire time in Oregon.
Like I said, we back, baby. With a nice little fight on. Appreciate y'all. We love you. If you want to be a part of the watch party again, become a member, and the link will be in the community channel. If not, we'll catch you guys for the post-game show. Until then, take care. Enjoy the game.